Cardinals and Yankees on a August weekend here at Busch Stadium. Looking forward to that, and we're going to talk about that and more here over the next half hour or so on Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar each and every day, 365 days a year. This is STL Sports Central, all content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Some big DraftKings news in the state of Missouri today.
Yeah.
You see that. So all that starts December 1st for you Missourians that are watching. So go and check out the news on that for those that use DraftKings. And we'll talk a little DraftKings Pick Six app later on in the program. Ryan Fagan here with me. It's a Friday. Ryan, Yankees coming in town. It's always, you still get that, both teams struggling. The outside of Aaron Judge, no big, huge superstar name, but you get Yankees and Cardinals in the same building, and it still has a special feeling to it.
You still feel the World Series titles, the matchups. The Yankees obviously number one, most World Series wins. Cardinals number two. There's history there. And,
you just list the names of everybody going through there. It's just a lot of the history of that alone.
And the Cardinals are still promoting it as such, as if they're the primetime Yankees, that's for sure.
Why wouldn't you though? I mean, Yankees come to, if every other year now, I feel like if the Cardinals go to Yankee Stadium, like that's one of those, even, it's not the old Yankee Stadium, it's still the new Yankee Stadium, but it still is. Have you been to the new one?
I'm not. No.
That's the only one I've been to. I never was at the old one. I went to the new one a few years ago, and you still go there, and it's still, you're walking in and you're like, all right, this is cool. Like you're in Yankee Stadium. All right, this is awesome. This is fun. Like they're sure that's not the history that the old one had, but it's still the word the New York Yankees. It's
certainly a date that I think a lot of Cardinals fans kind of scheduled on there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we've talked about before, like when Shohei Ohtani comes to town, he's a guy that you have to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Judge is in that same breath.
Oh, 100%.
And when you look at kind of where he came from, what he's become, and how he's kind of dealt with some of the injuries he's had, some struggles he's had over times, and what he's done the last couple of years, just absolutely ridiculous.
Oh yeah, the numbers, alone, just watching offensively what he has turned into and maintained throughout, and has carried the franchise on his back.
Yeah,
too. And the Yankees still spend a lot of money. They still are in that top tier of teams that are spending on the salary cap, and yet it seems like he's the only one worth it, especially in a year like this where Garrett Cole gets lost.
Yeah, when you lose a couple of guys out of that equation for that Yankees roster, I think you see. When when he goes down and misses a little bit of time, you really see how much he impacts. And I think the thing that has impressed me as much as anything is that he still strikes out a lot, but it's like the type of hitter he's become. He came up as a rookie and hit those 52 home runs as a rookie, and then he fell off a little the next year he was hurt, and you kind of wondered if he was heading towards the Rob Deere territory, right? Of a guy who hits a lot of home runs, hits the ball a long way, but you wonder like, how good of a hitter is he going to be? How good of his eye? He has gone the opposite way.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at his on base percentage. Last year was 458. This year 444. I mean, he has turned into a hitter. Not only can you not make a mistake to him, but you can't even make a borderline mistake. And he's probably going to take your best pitch in a pitcher's count and mash it over the wall. And he could pull it. He could hit it to the center field. He could hit it to the right field. He's just. And when you look at the type of plate coverage he has as a guy that big, it really is, Derek Gould wrote about a little bit in his right fielder, comparing like the size of Jordan Walker to the size of Aaron Judge. And I think Cardinals fans have seen it's sometimes hard for Walker to either get to or lay off that little slider that kind of darts outside, right? Judge has mastered that. And I think it really is one of those guys you just have to enjoy watching. Anytime you see it, like sometimes you'll be scrolling through and you'll see different highlights. You'll see somebody else at the plate, you just flip on by. But if you see Judge at the plate, you're like, all right, I want to see what he did.
Oh yeah, you see, you scroll Twitter and you see the highlights of some of his home runs. it's fun to watch. And
Yeah.
you look at, defensively too, what he has kind of turned himself into. I threw out here the other day when I was, I guess it would have been Wednesday morning doing 365. And I kind of threw out the idea, just kind of threw it out there of Jordan Walker, maybe center fielder. And, he's for the amount that Jordan Walker has improved his defense, and big guy, large guy. And you kind of go, maybe, like, when you're trying to fit all those puzzle pieces in with the Cardinals in the future years, sure, why not? He's athletic enough.
Maybe so. I'm not sure. I think, because
that was a polite way of shooting down
like,
another asinine thought.
No, Joe, come on, man. I'm trying to be nice here. I mean, especially when you got Victor. I think when you look at the reasons why Judge has played center field for the Yankees at the times he has, it's mostly because they haven't had anyone else to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's why if the Cardinals are looking at it and saying, okay, well, at least theoretically, we have Victor Scott handling that position for the near future. That's a comforting feeling, thinking you'll never have to worry about seeing what Jordan Walker could do in center field.
And this is, as we were talking about it earlier, we were texting about this earlier, the way that this Yankees team this year has gone. And you mentioned, the superstars with that and the payroll that they have. Losing Garrett Cole before the season. I mean, that's going to set you back. You lose that in spring training. You're not going to go find that somewhere else. You're not going to replace that with another guy. I mean, that is a 1A pitcher. That is, we sit here and we talk about where the Cardinal pitchers ranked and how many true aces there are. Like, Sonny Gray's your one, but he's not ace territory to where, you're going to be top 10 in the league as a starter goes. So that's Garrett Cole. You're not going to replace that. You look at some of the other swings and misses they've made with putting together their roster. I mean, you want to sit here and talk about the Cardinal roster and try, and we'll get to JJ Weatherholt as the show goes on, but you want to sit here and talk about the mismanagement of the Cardinal roster and putting together this team. The Yankees are really, I mean, a lot of it, they're just trying to shove pieces into place and make things work. And it hasn't lately. Since, I think I sent this to you, since June 15th, Yankees were 42-28.
Yeah.
Cardinals were 2 games over 500 at 37-35. Since then, now the Yankees are 64-57. And the Cardinals 61-61. So the Cardinals, where they're still right around where they were, Yankees have fallen off in a big way.
Yeah, it's been let's just say the calls for Aaron Boone's job have been growing louder, and they've been there for a long time. And I think that Yankees fans have been thoroughly fed up with him and talking about how, what's his saying? It's all right there in front of us. I think I saw a master clip of somebody spliced together like 20 times that Boone had said that, and nothing had changed in that time. Yeah, I mean, 10 games under 500 since the middle of June. Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at the Yankees and some of the issues they've had, there are similar issues to what the Cardinals have gone through, right? I think when you look at some of the young guys that were expected to come up and become the next stars established, it hasn't happened. I mean, Anthony Volpe, now I remember back the spring training a couple years ago when Jordan Walker was tearing it up for the Cardinals in spring, got the promotion to the opening day start. Anthony Volpe was doing the same thing for the Yankees as the heir apparent replacement eventually from Jeter a couple years removed. Volpe struggled. He's hit some home runs, but I mean, that batting average is down 210. On base percentage is 288. He's really struggled in the field. I think you look at Austin Wells, a catcher, the expectations weren't quite as high, but an OPS plus of 84. That they've tried a couple of different guys, Oswaldo Peraza and Orlando Cabrera, Oswaldo Cabrera. Sorry, at third base. They've not found the young guys. Jason Dominguez has been good and shown flashes, and he's been better than some of the other guys, but he hasn't developed into that all-star type too. So I think when they've been counting on some of those guys to take the steps, that hasn't happened. And then you have the Cole injuries, you have the other issues they've had. You have Marcus Stroman not being able to get anybody out. And all of a sudden you're looking at a team that, I mean, Aaron Judge can't hit 450, 420 over the whole season like he did in the first month or so. So when he's even dropping down, I think we saw that with Ivan Herrera a little bit. When he wasn't hitting insane, the whole offense kind
Yeah.
of struggled because he had been covering up for some of those issues.
And it compounds with the fact that right now Aaron Judge is being limited to just DHing with the Yankees, which just, it's such a huge trickle down effect of so many other issues for that team.
Yeah.
Because then Giancarlo Stanton has to play the outfield, which he has. And to see Stanton just be a shell of of his former self, of possible future Hall of Famer, and now watching him just kind of labor to get around the bases.
It really is. You see, like, you look at his numbers this year, hitting, 299, an OPS of 949. He still can do it when he's healthy, but he can't stay healthy. And the way to keep him healthy is certainly not to put him in the field.
Right.
But they had to do that because you really can't risk Judge getting exacerbating things. So yeah, it's things are not well in Yankee land right now.
Let me just to go back on the Volpe stuff. With leads the league in errors.
Yeah.
Right now, we've been talking about this for months. Just the circus that is the Yankees defense, and just it's like when you think something bad, like when you watch a highlight, you're, God, that's bad. Like, can't get any worse, and then you watch it the next, you're like, the hell, like you're a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah.
How did that happen? And you kind of go through some of those with Volpe. This is something that I don't think, at least it hasn't happened yet, and I don't know if it will. Jeter's been retired for 10 years now. Has it been that long? 8 years?
It's been a minute. Yeah.
And every single shortstop that has come after Derek Jeter with the Yankees has just had this huge shadow over him of, is he going to be the next? Is he going to be the next, great shortstop? Is he going to be the next Derek Jeter? So far, and this is kind of a comparison that I want to get into between Yankees media or New York media and St. Louis media, because St. Louis media and fans are, I think, I was going to say psycho, but passionate is probably a safer word to use.
Always.
That the expectations of just that, like, right now, Cardinal fan, we need to rebuild. We need to rebuild. Can't believe they lost that game.
It can't be both.
It can't. No.
Yeah.
But up until now, all of the catchers that we have seen come through St. Louis the last few years, I don't think anybody has been like, oh, okay, it's the next Yachty coming through. Like, we got ourselves the next Yachty. So I don't think that pressure has been put on the catcher position. Even with Herrera coming in, it's like, okay, hey, Herrera's this next big thing. I don't think anybody has ever looked at Ivan Herrera and be like, hey, you have big shoes to fill.
Because you always knew Herrera's shortcomings.
Yes.
You never expected him to be that same type of defensive catcher. And I think maybe that's because Molina just set the bar so high that nobody's conceivably going to get there.
The thing, Jeter, though, Jeter set the bar really
with the glove, though. I think,
how many Gold Gloves did Jeter have?
I don't want to talk about Gold Gloves with Jeter.
I'm just asking.
Gold Glove is a vote.
I don't want. I'm just asking. I know you have. I see you have his Baseball Reference page up. I'm just asking.
He's got 5.
Okay. How many of those did he deserve?
Not 5.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I'm not.
He was fine. He was fine he was passable as a shortstop. When Alex Rodriguez came over, he was the better shortstop.
Yeah.
But A-Rod moved to third.
Yeah. So that's not in my point is that, yes, the expectations, like with Volpe, everybody's like, oh, he's got to be Jeter.
Yeah.
He's got to be Jeter. I don't think that Cardinal fans are going to be crazy in that sense to where they are going to expect every catcher to be like, hey, okay, you got to fill Yachty's shoes.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the case when Pujols left for free agency. I don't think looked at people and said that.
Yeah, I guess it is different. I agree. I can't even exactly tell you why. But it is different. And like, cause that pressure was so on. And I think, look, if we're looking at it objectively, all those things that Jeter was to the Yankees, like the captain and the leader and the clubhouse guy, like Molina and Pujols fit those categories as well.
First ballot Hall of Famer,
but it's always been, and I wonder, like, I think, it's look, Volpe is not lived up to the expectations. He hasn't. There at times he has not been a good shortstop. Right now, he is not a good major league shortstop. So it's not even that he's not reaching the Jeter levels; it's that he's not reaching the passable major league starting shortstop levels, and they keep throwing him out there. I'm not sure they have any other options. We talked about the struggles that they've had on the infield. I think that's, they haven't had a third baseman. They've had Jazz Chisholm playing third base. He's probably more of a second baseman or a DH and doing all these different things. So yeah, I mean, they've had their issues, and like, I think as much as Yankees fans are critical, they still see the path to potentially doing something in October. And I think that's when you look at the potential of a healthy Judge. You look at Max Fried and Carlos Rodon throwing in there. Clark Schmidt has been real good. We've seen what Will Warren can do. I mean, even going back, I remember a start that Warren had against the Cardinals in spring training, and you just saw that stuff that he had, the swing and miss stuff, and he's been good. So I mean, you're looking at the Yankees and you think, okay, well, if they can survive, and I think that's why the fans have been so outraged over the last month and a half, 2 months that they've been playing so poorly, is because they see that potentially slipping away. Now, are they going to be the best team in baseball in any stretch, long term? No, but do they have the pieces that could put together a run that we see in October? Pieces are there.
Will Warren will be starting on Sunday against the Cardinals, facing Miles Michaelis. Tomorrow, the matchup is Sonny Gray against Max Fried. And tonight, it is Luis Gil on the mound for the Yankees against Andre Palante. Gil 0-1 on the year with a 7.27 ERA. So has not been a good start to his year. It's what, 2 starts.
He's coming off. He's coming off a bunch of injuries. I mean, he was he was rookie of the year last year. I mean, he was good last year, and I think it's been a tough transition back from the IL.
Yeah, so that's what we have tonight. 7:15 down at Busch. And that's a post-game show coming your way with Chris Pelican and Brendan Schaefer when that game is over. This is Card Central 365, powered by Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. The big date that everybody had circled on the calendar was today, because it marks 45 days. I guess yesterday, technically, it was 45 days.
Today's the day you could bring them.
Today, okay. So
today's the day they could bring them up and still maintain that inside that 45-day window.
The Cardinals could call up JJ Weatherholt. They could, if they wanted to, and he would not lose his rookie eligibility if they kept him under 130 at-bats on the season, which, with the log jam of position players that the Cardinals have that they want to give runway to, would not be difficult at all to get done. Play him 2 games out of a series, and I think easily you keep him under that 130 number for the year, if even less than that. But comments made recently by John Mozeliak, they talked about it today on this morning on the Randy Carricker show, and it's been it's out there. I don't get it. It makes no sense as to why they don't even seem to be entertaining the idea of bringing JJ Weatherholt up right now. A team that is bottom third in MLB in attendance, struggling in almost every single offensive category. JJ Weatherholt would seem to check a lot of boxes for this Cardinal team right now.
He does, and I think as we were talking about before we came on the air, just kind of like you look at in terms of Weatherholt's development, right? And let's just look at it strictly from that aspect. We have seen in St. Louis highly touted rookies come up, have a great spring training, make the opening day roster, and that's their first taste of the big leagues, right? Now, highly talented players, it was and you saw nothing but kudos around the league for the Cardinals for calling them up and giving them the chance to start. They had no major league experience aside from spring training prior to that. Those guys struggled. Jordan Walker, Victor Scott II. They struggled mightily. And you almost look, you can't compare the exact things. Jordan Walker was coming out of high school. He didn't have the experience. JJ obviously like Victor had both played college ball, so they were a little more seasoned in that aspect. You just wonder how much that chance to see major league pitching for a month, like how much would it benefit a guy like Weatherholt, who's clearly has all the talent in the world. He's a very headsy ball player too. Like, take that information and use that in your off season to prepare for the likelihood of making the opening day roster, because I think everyone expects that to happen coming into next year.
And
right, so take
also
that.
Two different guys. I mean, when you compare him with Victor Scott, also you're also, I mean, Victor Scott had a much easier battle to win in spring training. It was him against Michael Ciani, who I think towards the end of last year, a lot of people were about fed up with Ciani's offense. And I think Michael Ciani's standing within the organization has been made very apparent this entire season, with only being called up once this year and multiple opportunities to call him up in other times. And Garrett Hampson still has a spot on this roster instead of entertaining the idea of calling up Michael Ciani at any point. So I even think to compare those two isn't really accurate. I mean, because of, JJ Weatherholt is a first round top 10 draft pick, number 6 prospect in all of baseball right now. And you look at Kurtz and Caglione, who drafted right around him with the same college experience.
And Kurt's been phenomenal.
Both called up to the big leagues. And you kind of look at that and you go, okay, like there all these parallels to all of this. Like, why the refusal to do this? And it sure seems like a lot of people are scratching their heads and trying to figure it out now, especially since we're here. Like there's no rumblings of it either.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think there's lots of reasons for Cardinals fans to be frustrated right now.
Yeah.
You could throw that in there. And because you look at Kurz and what he's done, I mean, he is the big reason that Athletics fans aren't losing their minds with watching their team playing in Sacramento this year, what he's done coming up. And Jack Caglione struggled. Yeah. Right. I mean, I think there's no doubt about that. So maybe the Cardinals are looking at that. They don't want to deal with that. But I still think, like, you can look through baseball and look, let's be honest, you can find examples of guys coming in and contributing right away with no major league experience. Obviously, Albert Pujols did pretty well with no big league experience when he made the opening day roster. But you look at a guy like we were talking earlier, like Mike Trout, right? Mike Trout came up. He was given 40 games at the end of his age 19 season. He struggled. He hit 220. He had an OPS under 700, and he looked kind of overmatched. But he had, and you talked to Trout, and I've asked him about this, a long time ago, but he would tell you that experience, he took that. I said, okay, this is what I need to do, and I'm not trying to adjust on the fly. I now have 3 or 4 months to figure out how to make these adjustments to what I saw and what I struggled against. And it feels like Weatherholt's the kind of guy that especially could benefit from that. And we're talking about, the developmental nature of this season, and especially now going forward. And it feels like it's an opportunity.
And you look too that take Michael McGreevy, for example. Yeah. The amount of times last year and this year that he was called up to make a spot start and then immediately sent back down. And you kind of got the sense as it was going on, and you kind of get the sense from the team too, looking at it and saying, it'd be really nice if he could stick around for 2 starts, for back-to-back starts, and talk to the pitchers, be in the meetings, do his bullpens at Busch Stadium, like do all of that instead of having to travel back and forth. And I still think we haven't fully figured out like how much of a benefit that's having on his career, since that's happened after the All-Star break, but we'll find that out. And that's another thing too, like get JJ Weatherholt up here in a dugout with Brenton Donovan, with other hitters on the team, and just get him in that environment.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, and this is kind of a different conversation, but like how the Cardinals approach their top prospects making their major league debut and making all these different things with Heimblum as opposed to John Mozeliak. Because like the track record of Mozeliak has lately has not been great, right? You looked at the top prospects that they've had who have struggled once they've got there, or they've had some success and then reverted and had all these slumps. I mean, you look at a guy like, I mean, even Mason Wynn, he had the chance to come up and he was good. His in his first extended stretch. But how does the organization take a different approach when Mozeliak's not the one making those decisions? And that's one of the things I'm curious to see going forward. And we're not going to know that right away, but starting next year and kind of going over the next 3 or 4 years, how do some of these guys like Crooks? How do they deal with him? How do they deal with all these other guys they have that they're excited about seeing in the bigs?
That's as somebody, people in the comment section right now in the YouTube chat talking about ticket sales for that. Last weekend with the Cubs in town, I really was shocked at the attendance figures for that. And I was up there Friday night and we were kind of talking about when's the last time Cubs Cardinal weekend series drew under 30,000.
Pre-Pujols,
right?
It has to be.
Yeah. So you look at that and I was shocked by it. Like I thought there was no way. I thought if anything, they would still announce over 30,000. They didn't.
Right.
I really was shocked by that. And
if I'm being honest, I don't know.
Under 40,000. I had to look at what the attendance was for last week, but whatever it was I was shocked at how low it was.
I don't know. And this is just me being honest. I don't know how much Weatherholt would bump ticket sales. I just don't know. Because I think that there's such an apathy that's been created right now. I don't know that bumps it. Like maybe more people turn the TV on, right?
Yeah. Maybe if you had tickets, you'd actually go to the games.
You wouldn't let it sit there,
right?
I don't know. I mean, and I could be wrong, but it was
under 40,000. By the way, is what we were talking. So last week's attendance 33,000 on Friday, 40,000 on Saturday, 30,000 on Sunday is what the announced attendance was.
Yeah.
For those games. So that was what we were. And then I was saying that the one thing I thought it would dip under 20,000 against the Rockies and was under 20. It was between 21 or 28, 836, 28, 07, 25, 13.
It makes you think they just kind of bumped it up.
What I was told was that if you just take season tickets sold, that it's always going to be over 20,000 announced.
Yep.
That's as freaking close to 19,000 as you can get though.
Yeah, they've had, I think you're looking at the attendance of the 3 games against the Marlins were between 20 and 21. I mean, there's been a lot of that. That's why I don't know that calling him up, it would certainly boost interest in the club.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's going to directly translate to ticket sales.
4-game series coming up against the Pirates at the end of August for that. I mean, again, like those are ones you kind of look at and you go, okay, but would that boost? I mean, if you have the tickets, maybe you'll show up type thing for those. You're not going to do it while they're in Florida next week. You're not going to do it on the road, right?
You wouldn't think so.
Maybe you call him up against the Rays because he's been so used to hitting in minor league parks all season.
In Steinbrenner Field.
You start him in a minor league park to start the season. And you see how that goes.
It would be fun to see Weatherholt against Skeens, wouldn't it?
That's a 4-game series. So you got to imagine
he's
Skeens
probably going to
pitch one of those games, right?
Yeah.
That Wednesday one on FS1. Maybe FS1 gets the Skeens game on that. So again, it doesn't sound like it's happening tonight, but
I don't expect it to happen.
I don't either. I think I will say this. I mean, hearing from down in Memphis saying, I know one of the knocks on him has been his arm, but hearing that the Memphis Redbirds coaching staff has 0 issues with his throwing arm and with his ability to play third base. So if that's a concern that you have heard, trust me, I've heard that concern too. I can tell you that I have heard it dispelled. It's they've said it's not a worry by the team. So
I think it'll be interesting to see where he is, in the future. Like where's his long-term position? Is it a situation where, I mean, you look at like Bobby Witt, right? When he came up, he played third base because that the Royals had a second baseman, even though, or sorry, a shortstop, even though, Mondesi was a shortstop, even though Witt was a natural shortstop, and everyone knew that was his eventual position, but they still stuck him at third base because they didn't want to move Mondesi out of there, which kind of, you look back at that and you think, oh, really? I think it's different with Mason Wynn playing shortstop because he's so good at what he does.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you look at his arm, he can play there. So then you look at Weatherholt. Is he a second baseman? Is he a third baseman? He's only played up to this point, I think, like 3 games at third base in Memphis. So, and they've all been recently. Right. So I think that's maybe telling a little bit. But yeah, I think he's one of those guys, if he shows next spring that he's a bat, they'll put him into a position and adjust everyone else around him.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of talent that he has.
We I just saw a message come across the YouTube chat I want to throw up there for you in just a second. But first, I did see somebody in the YouTube chat say that Giancarlo Stanton is going to go yard today. If you think that's the case, get on the DraftKings Pick Six app, and you can go to Giancarlo Stanton and hit more or less on that. If you think he's going to homer tonight, hit up more on the home runs. Find another stat you like to see as well, and try to up those winnings on the DraftKings Pick Six app. And if you have yet to do so and you download it today, use promo code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports. For new customers, you get $25 in bonus picks with the first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick Six from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick Six not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick Six credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at picksix.draftkings.com/promos.
Ryan, the Patrick Baker in the chat.
I was just going to tell you to pull that one.
That's the one I was going to say. That's the one I saw it, and I wanted to get to the DraftKings spot before that. He pulled a JJ Weatherholt first Bowman Gold Shimmer autograph. For those that don't know exactly what that means, me included in this. You are the card guy. You got the junk swag.
The hat on.
Yeah. What is it?
There's nothing junk wax about that JJ that he pulled. I mean, that's just, let's be honest. That's a gorgeous. It's a gorgeous looking card. JJ's got the big signature within in there, and I mean, that's not to price it, but that's worth several $100s, potentially more if he gets it graded. Yeah, that's I've never been as jealous of anyone in the comments as I am right now. Right now. That's, and is this the card? I found it on but that's okay. That one's not autographed. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know
the auto takes it.
Gotcha.
I mean, even his autos that are numbered to 250 are selling for $300. You put that at 50, that's exponentially higher.
I'm putting a picture of the card up on the screen so other people could see what it is that they're talking about.
Yeah, that's the gold one. Yeah, his is the gold shimmer, which is just another excuse to have cards numbered to 50, with the nice auto right there, kind of around where his knee is. It's a that's a beauty.
Any good pulls for you lately then?
No, I've got some JJ cards that I'm kind of holding for the same reason Patrick is like, the time to buy JJ was a while ago because this stuff is going crazy right now. But it's not going to slow down anytime soon. So yeah, but when he gets called up, I might post some of those on eBay.
Nice.
To see what happens.
This weekend, you do have Cardinals Yankees. That's a fun matchup to see on the schedule. Elsewhere throughout baseball this weekend, Mariners at Mets should be a good series.
Mets have been scuffling as well
this weekend.
It's a bad time for baseball in New York right now.
Imagine the New York media right now talking baseball. It has just, every head they want rolling right now.
Yeah, it's been a rough time there, but that's in the media, they love it. It's storylines.
Yeah. Don't look now, but the Cleveland Guardians, 63-57. They have worked their way back into the wild card picture in the American League. But outside of that, outside of the series, the Mariners Yankees series, you look around baseball, and the big one, the all eyes on Padres Dodgers.
Yeah.
Right now, Padres have overtaken the Dodgers right now, first place in the NL West.
Yeah, I don't think anyone saw that coming. I mean,
Nope.
you figured that the Padres could be good; they could be in that wild card contention. The Dodgers have had just everything that could go wrong has gone wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, they just got swept by the Angels.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone in a million years.
Angels 6-0 against the Dodgers this
Yeah,
year.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then they're still 3 games under 500 for the year,
Right.
overall. It's Mike Schultz doing things. He was almost like maybe he shouldn't have been lost the power play.
Philosophical differences.
Yes.
They'll get you every time.
Anyway, they've been doing great. The Padres and they have a front office that they, AJ Preller saw an opportunity,
Mhm.
right? Because I think we talked about this, but like you look at the Dodgers and the way their roster is constructed, the minor leaguers, that the prospects they have, and the ability they have to go out and get players in the offseason, and it's reasonable to think they're going to win between 100 and 105 games every year for the next indefinitely.
Yeah.
Right? That's not crazy to think. So when they have this combination of injuries and issues that they've had and people
Who just
struggling
went down this week for them.
somebody else, everyone's
I was
going
going to say
down.
another pitcher went down this week.
So the Padres see this and they say, this is our chance. Now, we may not have come into the season thinking, that we were expecting this, we were hoping, but they saw an opportunity. I mean, I think you look through baseball history and you look at World Series champions, and there are some that are the best team and they won. But how many times do you see teams win a World Series because they had the opportunity, because they were in the right place at the right time, and the right things conspired to put them in position? And I think the Padres see that chance. And when you look at the team as a potential team and what they could do in the postseason, I mean, they've got pieces, they've got experience, they've got I think when you look at, it's hard to put anyone over the Brewers the way that they've played lately. But I mean, the Padres are right up there in the mix of the teams that have the ability to go ahead and do something in the postseason.
You also have this weekend more Little League World Series. Kid yesterday on the mound throwing 82 miles an hour for Chinese Taipei. 82 miles an hour from, what is that, like 46 feet away, I think is what they at the Little
Did
League
they
World
say
Series?
what the equivalent
107.
was? 107. Jeez. I knew you can tell me triple digits, but my goodness.
What's more impressive is the kid from Mexico fouled one of the pitches off.
Contact.
82. And he's fouling pitches off.
Oh, man.
Also, to have a 12-year-old out there who can catch 82.
Yeah, no kidding. Poor guy.
Right. That's equally as I think that makes it all. I mean, everything impressive. Fouling a pitch off, being able to handle that, catching it behind the plate.
Man.
Just every aspect of that
82
is impressive. Yeah, the equivalent of 107.
Wow.
Jeez. Hey, enjoy the weekend of Cardinals and Yankees down at Busch Stadium, and also I'll throw this out there. Tonight, the Live at Lowe's show that Claves and Ricky Horton do after Friday night home games, they're gonna have Ollie on.
Oh, nice.
After the show today, or after the game tonight. So I would love to hear if we get candid Ollie talking about that, and how much Claves and Ricky can get out of him this evening.
I think you'll hear, if you're talking about JJ, right? And you'll
maybe just the thoughts on the season as a whole. I mean, just Ollie has just seemed so outspoken this year, and
he has
very media friendly, and the kind of guy that we like hearing from.
And you wonder how much of that is the change up top.
I would think so. Yeah. His thoughts on that,
he's a smart dude.
He is, and the players I seem to love him. Former players I know seem to love him. Holiday, or I think it was Holiday, was talking about him the other day. Lynn was talking about him the other day. I mean, we know what Yachty thought about him last week. So lots of positive comments towards Ollie this season. For what he has done so far. So that's on after the game tonight. So put it on KMOX and listen to Claves and Ricky talk to Ollie after the game. So That's going to do it for us today. Post-game show tonight, Brendan and Pelican on that whenever the game is finished. He's Ryan Fagan. I'm Joe Roderick. This has been another edition of Cards Central 365 on STL Sports Central.